Welcome back here today on the beautiful campus of Florida Panhandle Technical College. Getting a little bit of welcome rain and cooler weather now, harbinger of things to come, although I think there's still a lot of hot weather to come in the next couple of months. Last several weeks we've been shooting some of the local football teams as they're gearing up for Friday Night Lights. We have some of the best scholastic and athletic students in the world, I dare say, in this area. So stay tuned for all that is Friday Night Lights as that cranks up. Here with us today is Kalyn Waters and Randy Adams from the Holmes County Outdoor Expo, this year celebrating their second annual event. When we come back, we're going to talk to Kalyn and Randy about what you can expect as a visitor to that Outdoor Expo. We were fortunate enough to kind of happen upon it last year. I think we're actually in Bonifay doing something else and saw the sign, stopped in, got some pictures. We're showing some of those now. There's literally something for everybody. The weather's great. It's just at a time of year when it starts to cool off. Lots of inside activities, lots of outside activities. We're going to talk all about what is the second annual Holmes County Outdoor Expo when we come back, and we will be right back. Welcome back. As mentioned, our guests today are Kalyn Waters and Randy Adams from Holmes County. You are with the Extension Service, and Randy is just part of the Outdoor Expo. First of all, thanks for taking the time today.
Well, thank you very much for having it. We're excited about the Holmes County Outdoor Expo, and we're excited for y'all to be a part of it and help get the word out. Last year,
when we stopped in, I was really surprised. You had literally something for everybody. One thing I want to jump to right away, we've got Cherry Bass here from Orange Hill, and I know King's Outdoors is also one of your sponsors. Am I understanding it correctly that if you have a Florida concealed carry permit that you are allowed to buy without the waiting period a firearm directly from a dealer? Do you know if that's true or not?
Yes, you can do that.
Because I know King's was selling firearms, and if I were there and they're selling firearms, I can literally walk away with one if I have that Florida concealed carry permit.
Yes.
Good enough reason right there to get it.
Exactly.
Pretty cool. Anyway, back to topic. Kalyn, you're with the Holmes County Extension Service, right?
Yes, sir.
And you're the ones who are, you were the one that came up with as the brainchild of this event?
Yes, sir. I guess you could call it that. So I'm with the University of Florida, the Holmes County Extension Office. Every county in the state of Florida has an extension office in it. I'm the county director in Holmes County, and then my other appointments is I do all the agricultural and natural resources education. And so we basically serve as an outlet for the university, and we're kind of the go-between between the state, the university, and the research and the resources there, and the residents of the counties. And so the idea was really just to give all the residents in the county and really the tri-state area the opportunity to have access to the specialists at the university, as well as really to give them opportunity to kind of gear up for the upcoming hunting seasons. So we're going to have a lot of vendors there on site, everything you need from food plots, ammo, corn, hunting gear, things like that are available on site. And then in addition, we will have some of the state specialists and different other agents from other extension offices in the area that will be there to able to help answer questions that you might have as far as natural resource management, pond management, different things like that.
If you're a regular viewer of the show, you've enjoyed Julie Dillard and Judy Corbis and all the rest of them, Matt Orwatt, one of the more recent additions to the Washington County Extension, who've been on talking about land-grant universities, talking about all that Extension is. Washington County actually tried to have an outdoor expo. I really think that they spent way too much money. The first year, everybody had a padded shooting shirt, a big, $100 and some Columbia shirt. Probably not the best use of funding, but in any case, it went away after a couple of years. The biggest challenge with any kind of event, especially outdoor event, because you're challenged by a possible weather event, is having something for everybody. It's easy to get the guys' attentions, Randy, because, have a few guns there, have a few turkey calls, and they'll hang out all day long.
And a lot of the ladies too now. Don't forget that there's a lot of ladies in this area. That
I was going to come back to you, but go ahead.
Yeah. So exactly. And going back to what you were saying, so we've got the turkey calls, we've got the guns, we've got the ammo, which draw in a lot of the guys. And in addition, for the women that in the area that maybe don't hunt and are interested in the outdoors in other areas, we also have things like kayaking and different things like that, as well as we're going to have jewelry vendors, crafts, homemade different wood art, things like that. And so really there is something for everyone. If you enjoy the outdoors, enjoy kind of the country lifestyle, this is a great event for you to be at.
If Mama's happy, everybody's happy.
Right, and now that we've established who's boss, let me ask you what I was going to ask you. How did you get involved in it, Randy?
Kalyn, I volunteer for everything in the county. I help run the Turkey Federation chapter in Holmes County. Volunteer with the 4-H. Volunteer with the Council on Aging. I see a lot of people, and Kalyn was fairly new to the area, and she contacted me about it, and she knew that I run my mouth quite a bit, so we got up, just had a brainstorm last year, and we put it together last year in a month and a half.
Yes, sir.
And then this year, we said we were going to start about February, when all actuality we started about May. So we got a little later behind, but we're so much further ahead this year than we were last year, and expecting a lot larger crowd.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you had only had a month and a half to prepare. One of our largest corporate clients used to be a hunting ranch in Mexico. It was a high-end white-winged dove. They also did turkey and quail and did some fishing. And during that time, I had to attend all of the big outdoor shows, the SHOT Show and the NRA in Houston and all that. National Wild Turkey Federation in Nashville, I'll tell you what, that's a different animal. Turkey hunters are a different breed. Just because you're a hunter doesn't mean you know turkey hunters.
Right.
Same thing with quail. Quail hunters are more interested in their dogs than they are in shooting a quail. But the turkey really got my attention. Do you have some local guys that do that make local calls, or do you have some participation on a local basis with turkey?
There is. I don't know if any of them are coming to the event or not, but I do know a couple of guys that are that do it. One of our vendors, Lily Pad Adventures, they do some youth hunts from there. But it's, in Holmes County, we had the restoration program started in 97 and 98. And from what I've heard, I don't know if it's completely accurate, this year they're finally going to open it to a full season. So we have a great turkey population in Holmes County. And it's really, when I would go to the headquarters for NWTF, they would hear that I was from Holmes County. So people come and talk to me to figure out just what's going on in Holmes County. So Holmes County was noticed around the country for the success in the turkey repopulation.
And what do we have here, Eastern?
Eastern, yes.
Okay. Kalyn, you've got a modest entry fee, so I mean, certainly
Yes,
there
sir.
can't be any kind of a blowback. Many events you go to in pretty high price to get in. The result there is either they turn around at the gate, or if they are going to come in and they got their kids and they're paying $60 to get in, they're not going to spend money once they get inside. So that's not really, that's a little disingenuous to your vendors. What is your pricing structure?
So the way that it works is it's a $5 entry fee or admission at the door to get in for everyone who's 12 and up. But the catch to that is that admission fee enters you to win a Yeti cooler. So at the end of the day, you might pay $5 and walk out the door with a Yeti cooler.
Gotcha.
We didn't want to charge a tremendous fee to get in. The idea of this is really just to educate the public and to be a family-friendly event. The great thing about the outdoors and all of the wonderful natural resources and recreational things we have to do here in this area is that it's really a great opportunity to spend time with your family, to increase the quality of life that you have with your family. So we want this to be a family event, and that's why, there'll be things there for youth of every ages. So admission will get you in and get you entered to win the Yeti cooler. The other really great thing and fun thing that we have going is we're going to do a scavenger hunt. There'll be a few different things that you have to do, and at the end of the day, you'll turn in your completed scavenger hunt, and that will enter you in a drawing for a 10-foot kayak. And so
Suggested retail value of?
Over $200.
Cool.
So you have the opportunity to win a Yeti cooler, you have the opportunity to win a 10-foot kayak, and in addition, there'll be tons of other wonderful door prizes that are related to the outdoors and hunting, fishing, things like that. And so not only do you have the chance to come and get in, you also have the chance to walk away with some pretty awesome stuff.
Some of your major sponsors last year, as they are again this year, King's Outdoors, Orange Hill Express, and we'll talk about them. Sometimes I'm reticent to just do a laundry list because sure as the world we're going to leave somebody out and hurt feelings. What has been the impact? First of all, let's talk about the monies. The monies generated, do those get plowed right back into next year's event?
So some of the money generated goes back in, obviously, to help support the event next year. And then the other primary thing that we do is we use this to support our extension programming throughout the year. And so a lot of people say, oh, you know, your events are free or your programs are free. There's no such thing as a free program. Everything from the snacks that we provide to the advertising, the educational material we print off, there's always a cost to that. And so we aren't funded specifically for those things. And so the monies that we raise for this, a portion of that is able to help support the funding that we do, everything from the pond management classes we might have over the year, the pesticide licensing that we help the farmers with, to the programming I do for cattle producers. And then in addition, we also use it to help support 4-H through our office. And there's also a program in Holmes County through the Ministerial Association where they provide food for needy children over the weekends. And so we also make a donation to that.
Is that the backpack program?
The backpack program, yes, sir.
Yeah, the amazing thing about that, it was just been several years since I found out that even existed, but the fact they have to teach these kids how to hide their food once they get it home, so they're tweaking parents or meth head family members or whatever situation that they're facing. And, you know, that might sound kind of harsh, but it's true.
Yeah.
You know, we've had a lot of people from the Ministerial Association, West Florida Baptist Association, and so forth, sitting in those same chairs. Just yesterday we had people from Live Oak Baptist Church talking about their back to school. And we attend Shiloh, and, you know, as all churches in the area, we all support the mission effort. And for years I've said, why are we sending money to Africa when I got kids that live 2 blocks from me that are going without? Well, I think that in the last couple of years, I've realized that there's only so much you can do to help people, and then they prove to you that they can't be helped. You know, the old adage about give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, teach him to fish, and he'll never go hungry again. We're having a problem teaching our local people how to fish.
Yes, sir.
And no matter what we do, no matter how much money you pour into the local effort, it seems like you're always going to have people that are destined for failure or jail or whatever their outcome. So unfortunately, we have that. Also, when you talk about the free programs, anytime the state says they'll get something that's free, I feel a hand in my back pocket grabbing my wallet. So I know at the end of the day, I'm paying for that stuff. This is not a political cycle this year. Last year, we had a ton, as in all events, but at your event, we had a ton of political candidates in there. Several of my candidates that we represented were there. I know that for a fact. Do you think that's going to negatively affect your attendance?
No, I don't think so. I mean, the political candidates were there and they were welcome, but at the same time, you know, we had a strong attendance, and I don't think people were there trying to decide who to vote for. I think they were there to learn about the outdoors and experience the event. And so they added to the event last year, but we've added so many more components. We're going to have more than double the vendors we had last year. And so we've added so much more that I don't think that we'll miss a beat. I think people will really be excited for all of the opportunities and the things that we have for them to do while they're at the Expo.
You were full. Last year, you were full of vendors. So I would imagine that the extra vendors you're talking about will be outside?
Yes, sir. So the vendors will be both inside and outside. We're going to have a lot of larger vendors this year. We'll have some, you know, tractor equipment, food plot, planters, different things like that. We're going to have boats, RVs, side-by-sides, some trucks, some campers, different things like that. So the vendors will be inside, but they'll also be outside. And so
a lot of big boy toys.
Yeah, a lot of toys, a lot of tools, a lot of different opportunities. Everything. Orange Hill Express will probably have their muck boots. They're going to have their dog collars there, things like that. So pretty much whether you hunt quail or you hunt deer, whether you like to fish on the weekends or whether you like to just go hiking, there's going to be something there for you from 8 to 80, every genre, anything to do with the outdoors, we'll have something there for you.
Yeah, and an outdoor expo, sometimes you expect to see the lawnmowers and some of the outdoor equipment. You don't necessarily have to be involved in the sporting end of things. Randy, what's the best part of the Holmes County Outdoor Expo from a man's perspective, from a guy who's involved in hunting and so forth?
From my personal perspective is seeing the smiles on the kids' faces when they come in. Last year we had the guy from FWC that had the white deer and the rabbits for the kids to play with, and you know, just seeing their faces in awe of the stuff like that. You can get some really good deals on stuff. I know Sherry at Orange Hill, they had some great deals. My wife had to get a cast iron pan last year.
You're going to have the credit card this year?
No, actually, she is going to be a vendor this year. She started making homemade soaps, and she's going to be there. Really good stuff. She's got one that my grandson, he calls it Bigfoot soap, because it is, she makes it camo and it smells like dirt. So it'll be there, as a cover scent. So, it's...
How do you make something smell like dirt? Oh, we won't even go into that. That's all right.
It
Come
does.
to the Expo. She'll teach
It does.
you.
Yeah,
She
well, there you
does
go.
exactly. She does a wonderful job with it, and the kid, like I said, the kids. That's mine and Kalyn. When we talked about it last year, that was the main purpose. Is the backpack program, because she's a fairly new mom. I'm an old dad, and that's something that we have a passion for kids, and that breaks our heart to see or think that someone may be going hungry.
Oh, absolutely. Milton and his team, and he's always got a few pretty young girls with him to help, but he's always bringing out those deer and the rabbits, and he's got a whole menagerie that he brings with him. We got 6 grandkids, and when they're in town and there's any kind of special event, that's what they want to go do.
Yeah.
They get a chance, even the youngest ones get to put a rabbit on their lap. Like you said, they've got the albino deer. So you've got a pretty full day of this. Tell me what day it is again?
It's on Saturday, September 9th. It's at the Holmes County Ag Center right there in Bonifay on Highway 90. Doors open at 9 o'clock. We'll be there through 3 o'clock. Things going on all day. We'll have food vendors on sites, food, drink. Come get a funnel cake and a Coke and enjoy the day with your family.
Yeah, only a month or so. I was thinking that it was in October, but it's September 9th.
Yes, sir.
Nonetheless, starting to get cooler.
Yes.
School's back in session next week, so by then people are going to be looking for something to do on the weekend. Some of these events are tough during the summer because they're out of school and they're doing something every single day.
Yes, sir.
The events, in your benefit in this case, since the school's already in, is that Saturday comes around, the families that do things together, they're a likely target.
Right.
Well, best of luck going forward. We'll be there. Hopefully, you're going to have a banner crowd. I know that it sounds like you're going to, you were full even outside last time. So,
Yes,
I
sir.
can't imagine. You're going to have a full offering, a full array of stuff to do. You had a guy, you had the Boy Scouts there, I remember, and
Yes,
you had some food vendors that were out back that were
Yes, sir.
actually cooking. Tell us about what's going to be available in the way of food.
So last year we had food vendors. They had a range of everything from corn dogs to hamburgers and funnel cakes and everything else.
Anything that could be deep fried, anything
Yeah,
on a stick.
pretty much your typical Expo food will be there. Nice ice cold drinks, everything you'll need to enjoy the day.
Thanks for taking the time, Kalyn, Randy, both of you. Second annual, I imagine you can't wait till someday you'll be able to come on. We're talking about the 12th or 15th annual.
Yes, sir.
These things take on a life of their own.
Yes, sir.
And eventually, maybe you can bring in some big name people. I know that some of the big outdoor shows, they would get some of these hunters and shooters, and people go crazy. Right now, hunting is the number one pastime on which money is spent in the world, not just the United States. It's pretty amazing. Even in New York City, more money is spent on hunting gear, and you go to the Safari Club International, and some of those safari clubs, these guys are buying hunts to go shoot a bull elephant or some of this big game, in Africa. Probably not politically correct, especially with PETA giving us a hard time about the Wausau possums. But nonetheless, that is a huge industry.
Yes, sir.
Again, thanks for being here today.
You're welcome. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us.
Our guests have been Kalyn Waters and Randy Adams from from Holmes County, talking about the second annual Holmes County Outdoor Expo coming up on September 9th. Mark your calendar. It's going to be a huge event. Right now we're showing some more video footage and photos from last year's event. As you can see, there was a lot to do. Literally, as Kalyn says, something for everybody in the family. We'll be right back.